Good evening, guys. Hope you're doing very well. Welcome to a live stream. I've not done one of these in a while. I'm quite happy to be doing them again. The plan is I'll be sharing with you charts, talking about crypto, and on the side, we want to get our spaces going. LL's running it from the Juris account. I'll try to link it with this as well. Why isn't it public? Give me to make it public. Is annoying, guys. If you guys can hear me, if you can just put a thumbs up. That will be appreciated. Should be notified now that I'm live. Sound works. Should be notified now that. Right. On my other screen, the sound is working. Oh, about 6 people joining. Guys, do say hello if you're here. And guys, I'm actually potentially looking at a short in Bitcoin. This is a big rejection level. I don't want to see this level get lost. So if I was trading, unfortunately, I would be looking for like a short setup. Something like this would be my short setup in Bitcoin. We'll be looking at other coins as well. There's Cat with Hat, there's Juris, there's Terra Pump, there's the casino. There's lots of cool stuff to talk about. Let's see if the spaces have started. And the sound should be coming through there. What else have you guys been doing or been looking forward to? For me, there's a couple of trades that I do like. H bar, I longed H bar. We got that breakdown, so I took some off, but I'm still holding half my position. That's a live trade I shared on Twitter and in a small video. Dogecoin, I just think Dogecoin, like the risk reward for Dogecoin to $1 is so good. I think, yeah, if you believe in Dogecoin, that could be a nice buy. There's so many coins that are nice buys. Going back to Luna Classic, I mean, Luna Classic is a nice level here. So there's lots of trades that can be taken. Okay. And I mean, one thing I've been working on, guys, is the trader Rocko AI coin. There might be some news to share with you that as well. So some alpha for you guys, for my YouTubers. So the spaces have started. Let me click on it. Let's see if I can talk on here.
Hey Rocko, can you hear me? Awesome. So I guess I guess we can start. I invited Rexy to to speak. I don't know if Rexy got the invite. Because I'm on desktop. On desktop sometimes it's a little bit buggy with spaces.
I think there will still be a bit of a lag between me speaking and unless there's one other thing we can do. Let me different. Um, uh, could you share the link, LL? Because I think you have to share it from your phone on the Spaces, the YouTube link, so people want to see the charts we talk about.
Yes, give me 1 second.
Thank you. Spaces.
All right, so I shared the link to the space, should appear in the top. Link to the YouTube live,
Yes, yes, there is. So yeah, yes, there is. Guys, if you can check it, because it looks fine on my screen. If you
So
could check on YouTube that it works, and the sound should be linked as well, because you can join the Twitter Spaces through desktop now. So I'm logged in with my computer. So yeah, if someone can check, even better, comment on the YouTube stream. The plan is that rather than just talking, we can actually share what we're talking. So if it's a LUNC chart, Juris chart, a MEMECOIN chart, we can share them as well.
That sounds excellent. I can hear you fine. I was just busy posting something about this spaces. Do we get to see you in your usual GIMP mask?
I haven't got my mask today, Rexy, but yeah, that's a good shout. I could wear that for the next stream, but it looks like it's working. Yeah, we can
I
start
think
talking about charts.
I think you need to make a feature out of that. I think every time you do one of these, you need to wear a different mask. People will not recognise you then if it's always a different mask.
Well, I've even updated my logo with that mask. I thought it's a bit of fun. So
I
there's
didn't
a
recognise you. I thought I
there's
got a wrong account.
there was a FX
Have you
trader.
dyed? Have you dyed your hair as well?
No, I don't have blonde hair, but I thought I'd just
Oh
keep
well,
it.
no, come on. That's what's on your profile pic there. So I want to see you with blonde hair.
Yeah, well, we don't live too far, so if we meet up, I'll have to dye my hair. But when I dox, I'll have to dye my hair. Cool. I guess we can get started. Yeah, if someone could actually, there's not too many people listening. Well, I was on a quick call with Rexy before the spaces, and we're talking the views. If you look at, I won't name them, but if you or look at my YouTube views or other Lunar Classic YouTube views, is down, and it's not just Lunar Classic. A lot of the market is down. Ethereum is down. Crypto on Twitter is quieter. I saw Google, trends. Everything's like seems to be very quiet. I hope we get that change of fortune and things start moving up because we need that in Luna Classic and we need that in crypto. I don't know whether it's going to be Trump tariff going down, whether it's going to be Fed Powell dropping interest rates. If you guys have been looking at some of the back and forth between Trump and Fed Jeremy Powell, I don't know where it's going to come from, but yeah, we need some liquidity. We need some luck come our way. Um, for Luna Classic and for crypto in general?
I think if there's a positive, I try to look at the positives in things, and I think you need a good microscope here to find the positives in what's going on at the minute, don't you? However, I guess we're all in a dip, aren't we? And most people say you buy the dips and you sell the highs. It's just predicting which ones we're kind of in. But I think that the whole globe's in a dip, isn't it? I mean, Trump, he's really, put the cat amongst the pigeons, and I can understand where he's coming from with his tariff strategy, but there's going to be one hell of a lot of pain before it delivers any positivity, I think. Yeah, and I think crypto it's demonstrating how it follows the wider market, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the stock market is down. Maybe I can give a quick roundup of where the markets are. So the S&P, one of the the biggest indicators to look at, that pumped last week, and that had a nice move up from literally the highs of 2022, where the stock market dumped from. You can check the charts I'm sharing. Stock market dumped about 22% from the top in March, February, and that's a big sell-off. That was the bottom in 2022. It dumped 26% before it almost 2x. So it is in a level where you'd expect the stock market to go up. Unfortunately, Bitcoin trends the stock market and not the gold. At the moment, people assess Bitcoin as a risk on asset. So when the people want to have risk exposure, like in the stock market, they bet on Bitcoin. Ultimately, I think people want Bitcoin to trade like gold, because if you look at the gold chart, just going to share that now. Gold chart is absolutely mooning. Since gold broke out in early last year, gold is up 65%, which is crazy for such a big market cap commodity. And unfortunately, Bitcoin hasn't been trading like that. If you think Bitcoin will trade like that, that could be amazing. But for now, Bitcoin is trading like more like the stock market. And going back to Bitcoin, the key level I'm looking at. So I used to be called Trader Rocko because I used to do these live streams, live trades. 83k is a big support. This was a low of this week. It's really important that we don't start breaking below here. If we hold that level 83k, I think we're okay. You lean bullish. We've had the triple spikes. When market breaks down 3 times and not hold below it, that is a bullish sign. But if this weekend we start breaking below 83k, you would tend to potentially look for some shorts in BTC or in other altcoins that you bearish on. But for me, the altcoins are at such key levels. Look at LUNC. The low that happened with the Luna dump. We look at Solana. I shared a H-bar trade recently. That trade, that trade worked really well. I pumped almost 20% in my direction. I wouldn't want to sell them, but if Bitcoin breaks below, then you could look for some short time frame, short trade setups. But high time frame, shorting at these levels usually don't make you money. Most people will do better trying to buy the dips rather than trying to sell and buy and then trade with emotions. But yeah, that's my quick thoughts on the market. Rexy, LL, have you guys had a chance to, or is the YouTube working for you guys? And then also your thoughts on Bitcoin and the general market for you guys.
So your stream is working great. I think we should do this more often. Maybe we should do this every time we do the spaces, actually, because it's pretty nice. Like we can talk about stuff and look at the charts at the same time. I have like split screen right now. Like on the left side, I have the screen on the laptop, 1/3 of the screen and 2/3 the YouTube live. Working pretty great for me. And regard your question about BTC, I hope that it dips to 60k. I would love to buy 60, 65, 70k in dollars, not in euros, but because in euros I think it's at 73 something. So euros would be probably 59, 55 ish. But I guess that level is like really great support. If it ever dips to there, I guess it would pump within short time frame afterwards. I don't know what you guys think.
For me, I have that chart marked. So my big level that I've got drawn is this high from 2021. Around that level is 69k. That was the top in 2021. This was the resistance in 2024 before we broke out. So these retest levels work really well. So if you go back and see how Bitcoin bottomed, Bitcoin top was around 18, so 19, 20k, and Bitcoin bottomed at 16k. So yeah, if we get there, I mean, I would pretty much be all in crypto then. I wouldn't have any cash to buy. I do have a little bit of left, after losing money on Ethereum, which I haven't sold yet. That would be the level that I buy. So yeah, from 70k to anything below, that's the US dollar value, is the big level for me that I'd look to buy. And doing these spaces, and I should be able to bring on guests as well. We haven't set up for today. So next week I'm off. LL's doing the spaces by himself. But the week after, we can make the setup where LL or Rexy can come up on the stream as well, and they can share their charts. And you can just listen to the spaces, or if you want to join us on YouTube, you'll be able to see our screens. And this would be more useful when Juris Protocol is live. We can do tutorials of actual, playing with 1k, let's say, of depositing air, getting some yields, and just show how the platform works.
Yeah, it seems to work fairly well for us as well. What I would say is I think you've got it on a delay, haven't you? So what you hear on Twitter or X, God, I wish they'd put it back to Twitter. It'd be so much easier to understand. It's just so when you say X, it's like you're going to say something else, isn't it? Like X this, X that, X the other. I mean, what a bloody daft name. Anyway, there you go. So it looks like on YouTube you've got some kind of delay on, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, minute, something like that. So it don't kind of fully tie up. That's my experience of it. But otherwise, it looks, pretty good.
Yeah, the delay, I think the setup should be for the listeners to listen on X and just mute the YouTube live stream. Just use it to watch the charts and stuff. Unless you are just on YouTube, then it doesn't really matter, I guess, for listeners or watchers.
Yeah, if you participate in it, can make it a bit kind of awkward because I guess you're waiting for somebody else to kind of catch up. So yes, I've got it on mute, if you like, on YouTube. But then of course you're looking at pictures which are 30 seconds behind the conversation, which can be a little bit awkward. It'd be great if you're betting. You could get some real good winners.
So the reason why the other way is we can't do spaces then. So I did the same thing with Coles. If you guys have followed me, it's like another coin that I've worked with. It's an AI coin. We tried to do a spaces. If you do a spaces, then it's just sound. If I do a live stream, it would be a live stream, someone like Bleaves or another YouTuber that streams. Then it will be like a live stream. It won't be the spaces where I can bring on anyone. That's the annoying bit because the sound of the stream is coming from the Twitter spaces, and then the video is separate. So
is this as live as what you can get it then, or is there like a baked-in delay where you can alter a setting or something like that?
So I haven't put a delay. It's just the sound comes from the Twitter spaces and then it's streamed. So that's why there's a bit of a delay, unfortunately. So there is a streaming function on Twitter, but then it will be just me streaming. It wouldn't be the spaces where I can bring on anyone. That's the unfortunate thing. We could try that. I think we could just stream once on Twitter and YouTube. So you can link your OBS to YouTube and Twitter and it will stream automatically. But then I won't be able to bring on guests like we do on this spaces. We won't be able to do that.
I suppose if you're using it a bit like a PowerPoint video where you don't necessarily have to, change the slide, so to speak, on a regular basis, then it'll probably work pretty well. I think a lot of people make mistakes with PowerPoint is when you get the different types of mistakes in there, but you get those kind of people that just seem to think that nobody can actually see the screen, so they just read from it, which you may as well just have some lecture notes. PowerPoint should be there to augment the presentation, as a tool to help you deliver it. And I think if you look at your YouTube, in terms of this space has been something similar, that could work quite well. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm not suggesting don't do this. I'm just that you'd show on the YouTube channel maybe would need to not flow quite so quickly, so it enables people that are listening to a conversation to actually see the relevant information on the screen, so to speak. So, for instance, like what you're doing now, you've got a still screen on there, so you can kind of refer to that while you can listen to the live discussion as well.
I think this should work great for charting and stuff. So I think we'll be fine. If you have a chart on for like minutes and we talk about it, if you want to show articles like blog or like governance stuff and talk about it, you need to just keep in mind it's half a minute delayed. I don't think that's a big issue.
Yeah, and I think in that situation it works absolutely fine. It's just been mindful of what other people can see into it.
Cool. Okay, guys. I mean, I guess you guys don't care about how these streams work, so let's get back into the topic. So we touched on Bitcoin and the markets. I think the two key things is tariff and also when Fed Powell starts dropping interest rates. I think I've talked about this before. One of my big mentors, a big trader in the US, he sort of advised me that just long the markets when the interest rates are dropping. Until then, don't trade. And he still lives and abides by that. He's waiting for interest rates to drop and then he'll start trading. So yeah, that's going to be huge. If Trump can put pressure on Fed Powell to drop the interest rates, then stock market, the risk on assets will do really well. That's just a simple view. Again, I'm not an economist to explain all the details. In terms of Lunar Classic, the big thing this week has been the USDC proposal passing. I made a YouTube video on this. You can go read Frag's proposal. It has passed. I'm really excited to see how that progresses. LL, maybe you can talk about that, the impact on this on the US, the impact on this on Lunar Classic, and also for DeFi and Juris.
Yeah, so basically, how should I explain it? When you go to Wintrax or you go to CoinHall and you list the trading pairs or Terra Classic, like you filter by chain and then you sort by volume, you see that our main pair, which is, I guess, LUNC USTC, like the unstable one that is native to our chain, has like, I don't know, sometimes 10 grand, sometimes 5 grand, sometimes 20, 25 grand volume, and the liquidity on TerraSwap and on Terraport, I think. Garuda, I'm not sure. I didn't check if there was like a big pool, but our biggest pools have like, I don't know, 50, 80 grand liquidity at most, and it's embarrassing for a $300 million blockchain. And it does not allow people to trade. It does not incentivize people to trade because if you're honest, like we all want USDC to go to $1, but it's not at $1. You can't do anything with it except for using it in the casino, for example, but people don't really use it. So why would you trade the main pair? And the reason Frag put up the proposal is so that our blockchain as at least we want to call it DeFi blockchain, and like with the utility chain or app chain, whatever you want to call it, we need a proper pair for our native coin, which is LUNC, with proper stablecoin liquidity. And since USDC is not a stablecoin right now, it means that we can have all the nice protocols like Selenium, Juris, and Juris in particular, because we depend on a stablecoin on chain with deep liquidity for our pools to make our protocol somewhat useful and easy to use for normal people so that they don't have to swap stuff through thin liquidity or like move around CXs. And at the end of the day, the only thing the proposal aims to do is to get some of the liquidity or some of the funds out of the community pool. I think it's like 10% or something, not even that much, depending on how much the DXs will ask for. And slowly convert the assets into stablecoins so that we can launch an initial stablecoin pool with, I think it's Noble USDC on our chain, so that we have the same 2% liquidity, like 2% means 2% from current market price, I think, so that our on-chain liquidity is somewhat matching the one from bigger CXs, so that we can compete, so that people have arbitrage opportunities, so that there's on-chain volume and DeFi protocols actually work. There's nothing bad about the proposal. That's my summary.
That sounds good. Rexy, you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I think it's shown that as a blockchain, we're starting to come of age. For what, nearly 3 years, there's been people discussing various different kind of views, which mainly have seemed to focus either on what other people are doing within the community or other groups, or repegging of USTC. And all that doesn't seem to have come to a great deal of progress, if you like, for the chain. And I think what this shows people outside Terra Classic is that actually we're starting to look at DeFi seriously, and in terms of what we seriously need to grow it. So I'd say it's a really encouraging sign. And also Frags, to be fair, you've got to take your hat off to him, and he really is like I was going to say the godfather of the chain, but that'll really play in some people's hands, won't it? But maybe the grandfather of the chain. And he's just trying to do the right things, and he's pulled a good selection of people together from various different ideas and kind of sort of beliefs and attitudes towards the chain. And for once, they've all seemed to, or pretty much all seem to be able to put any differences to one side and look at a bigger picture. And I think that's going to be very reassuring. I mean, in the spaces, I don't know, was it about a week or so ago? Vegas was mentioning that there are constantly eyes on the chain from some big players like Binance and others. And for quite some time, they've considered that, or so he says, they've considered that Terra Classic hasn't really been investable because it's like a constant bun fight, people falling out. I've always tried to keep out of that, and kind of to a certain extent keep a lot of my opinions to myself, because I'd rather us be able to show a mature kind of front to people outside. And most, I think, of the spats and stuff that have kind of happened within the community have been really of a next to nothing anyway. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great that we're showing some, mature visibility outside of Terra Classic.
Cool. Thanks for that, Rexy. I can see Hexagon, Raider, Peace Token. If you guys want to come up, just request to speak. Hexagon's partner of Juris. I do recommend their wallet. It's one of the wallets that I use for trading on Luna Classic, so go check them out. They also do validator services as well. I think, is there anything else we wanted to touch on for Luna Classic? I mean, the volume is low, which is a bit annoying. We still, have got volume compared to, some of the other chains, some of the bigger chains, but volume is quite low on the L2s. This USDC proposal is going to help. Are there anything else you wanted to share, Rexy or LL, before we start talking about Juris, Terraport, and some of the L2s?
Yeah, I gave a very kind of behavioural type sort of answer there, didn't I, in terms of the community and so on. Although I meant it to be very positive. However, obviously kind of picking up on what you've said and what jurists have said about the injection of liquidity from the chain, I think that's absolutely vital. There's within Terraport, for example, there's lots of pairs, and they're either paired with LUNC, because that's basically our native environment, isn't it? Or Terra. And quite often the more experienced investors, I'll say that with the kind of inverted fingers, which I hate doing, they tend to understand more that when you're in an ecosystem, that the native asset to that ecosystem is pretty much the benchmark to trade against. So everything is relative to LUNC. But most traders, I believe, like to trade against, I guess, more of a stable currency like the dollar, and therefore they trade against that. However, what you'll find is that most pairs will go up and down. So, for instance, you might see Terra drop by 10% one day, and you think, "What the hell's that drop?" There's, trading doesn't seem to represent that, but that's because the underlying asset, LUNC, has probably gone down by 10% or risen by 10%, as the case may be. And I think by having a liquid stable coin on chain, it enables people that, and probably the majority of people that trade with that kind of approach, it opens the markets up to them. And if it opens the markets up, then that also enables liquidity to flow into maybe other kind of meme coins on the chain as well, which then, opens up opportunities for, further trading and possibly even arbitrage. However, I do consider this as being a stepping stone. And I think for us to really compete with other chains, we'd need a lot more liquidity. It's great. I think, was it Man12C from Terraport said in one of the spaces just recently that we've got more dexes on Terra Classic than what Solana's got. If you include the pump fun kind of forks. So, we've got builders here, but we need to have the liquidity and we need the investors to make the most of those. And you've got to generate the environment, or the liquidity environment, if you like, in terms of the amount of cash that's available to stabilize pools so there isn't a lot of slippage and things like this. And I think it's absolutely right that is to come from the chain. And hopefully, if that improves trading volume, hopefully that will bring a return back on that investment for the chain as well. I think it's, without kind of stealing too much of your time, I think it's really important that the investor community and the wider community understand that these aren't funds that have been given to different dexes on chain. It's basically the chain creating its own liquidity pools and filling them, and therefore any of the kind of rewards that's kind of sort of gained from that, hopefully would feed back into the community pool and so on in the future. And of course, the chain at any particular time can decide that we want to withdraw that liquidity, and that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely within the chain's gift to decide what it wants to do. So from a risk perspective there, I think there's limited risk, but probably a lot to gain.
Yeah, to add to that, you mentioned about Terraport. If you look at the market cap for Terraport and potential of the LUNC market cap and potential of Luna Classic, that has got huge potential in my opinion. I recently got a bag of it. I talked about it in previous spaces. If all these meme coins, if Juris and all this stuff do well, a lot of them is going to Terraport for volume. And there's other exchanges as well, guys. Go check them out as well. Rexy mentioned Garuda, LUNC Swap, but specifically Terraport for me. If Luna Classic, this meme coin stuff does well, the volume that Terraport will generate is going to be quite useful. So yeah, I hope to see Terraport do well in the future.
Yeah, I see Terraport as being a $300 or $400 million project, the same as Juris. I don't think Vegas is here, is he? But Selenium, all those three projects, I think could quite easily get up to that level. Whether they do or not, we'll have to wait and see. But it'd be absolutely great for them. And there's other kind of big projects that are being developed on the chain, and they deserve to do well as well. But yeah, it's in terms of Terraport there, it's it's kind of a tool that a lot of other projects can use, and it enables, if you like, the meme coin kind of a narrative, if you like. It enables people to create kind of sort of pairs between their projects and others, and it just works, quite nicely in the background there. You don't necessarily have to use Terraport as a website as such. You can access it through Vintrex Coin, all various different wallets. I think Galaxy Station, you can use it through that, and that's fine. That's how I see it should be. This should be about maximum collaboration. This may be old kind of idea that one project can actually rescue Terra Classic or any chain. I think that's that died out with the dinosaurs. It's, if you want the chain to progress, and if you want the world to progress, you've got to collaborate with others. You can't just be that standalone giant who thinks they're going to basically just rule the world and everybody else is going to kneel down. And that's something I think with this Terrapump Fun, they seem to be taking that kind of approach, that they want to try to get on with people, and I think that's fantastic.
I've got the Terraport chart here, so I actually shilled Terraport and I took a decent position around here, 008 level, and I was like, this is support. It's going to break up potentially. We did get a push from there, and then about a 50% push. It faked out, unfortunately, and we faked out again here, and then we had a sell-off. But again, the reason why I aped a bag, I guess, is just looking at the market cap. Is at some point the market cap's going to be so cheap that bigger whales are like, okay, this is a bit cheap now, I'm going to ape in. Could it be here? I hope it is. It's given a fake out like this, in like we've had fake outs on the top and then sold off. This level that we're holding above, if we hold above here, maybe I share this trade, because last spaces, guys, I shared a trade on LUNC that worked out quite well. It was like a scalp trade. So yeah, maybe Terra is like a trade now that you can look to take. Yeah, before going back to the spaces, if we flip this, which we've rejected a few times, I'll be happy to look for a long in Luna Classic. If it happens in the next hour or so, I'll do a live trade, target these highs. Juris, you putting some thumbs down. Are you not happy with my trade setup?
I'm not happy that you share Terra to the other guys. I'm not yet done.
No, I'm just sharing my trades, I guess. I want to always be looking out for projects, especially on Luna Classic.
Do you know, it's interesting picking up something that you said at the top of this kind of session about engagement. I've just recently started a course with Oxford University. I never thought I'd be studying there. I've applied for jobs there before, but and it's to do with algorithmic trading. So it's really interesting. There's some mad professor who's kind of running it. And I thought, I'm just going to test the water here. So I did a tweet the other day. I think it was yesterday, actually. And I thought I'll talk about I'll try to strike a bit of a conversation about some of the financial theory and just see if anybody makes anything of it. And I got, I think, about 15 or 20 kind of likes, and one person responded who kind of understood what I was talking about. And I thought, okay, now I'm going to do another experiment. I'm going to look a bit of the behavioural stuff here, and I'm just going to do a bit of a moon tweet. So I'm going to say, let's get LUNC back to $100 and basically crack on with it. And I think that got about 400 likes. And I thought, yep, that pretty much weighs our community up, but being very positive. Because I tend not to do that kind of sort of tweet. I try to be a bit more kind of informative, which I guess is the error of my ways. However, it just goes to show that there is a community out there that's interested, and they want us to do well, but maybe market conditions are making that kind of sort of difficult at the minute. But I think it's nearly as if we've got a bit of show on the road, and the auditorium's kind of half full, but there's shed loads of people outside the door that are just waiting to come in when the fun starts again, as a kind of analogy.
I actually liked and retweeted that post. So are you saying LUNC is not going above $100 again?
Well, I was thinking that, it wants to be at least $100, doesn't it? Probably about 110 would be a good start.
If it doesn't go to $100, guys, let's sue Rexy. We'll blame Rexy for this because I ate all my money into this. We'll have to sue Rexy.
Okay. I'm English, mate. It's all you need to do is look in the bottom of your teacup. It's in the tea leaves. I tell you, 110. You ask Peas and you ask Jill, and they'll tell you, mate, because we're going to burn it down to about 10 billion by Christmas.
I'll do a couple of shills, and then I think we've got a couple of speakers. We'll bring up Radar and then LUNC. If you guys like to do this live trades that I share, you can check out Weeks. This is where Juris is going to be listed. I've partnered up with them as well, and also Terra Casino. So I lost my bet last spaces. I'm also going to put on another bet on my team. So I'm watching this game with my dad, potentially the last game I'm going to be watching in a while because my team Spurs just keeps losing. So I'm going to be putting a couple of million LUNC bet on Tottenham to win. If they lose, it's the season over. So I'm going to the pub with my old man to watch it. So yeah, a couple of shills. Check out Weeks. Check out Terra Casino. The links are below this video, or if you're on Twitter, it should be on the YouTube video, and you'll be able to see both the links. Okay.
I didn't think that Tottenham had lost. I just thought it was very philanthropic and they'd just like to give the ball away.
I've heard so. I might start supporting them. I was speaking to my friend again. We're getting distracted here. It's in a bear market, right? That's why we're talking about other stuff. But yeah, I was speaking to my friend. People change wives, people get divorced, people change houses. They sell houses, buy a new house, they move to new countries. Why can't you support a different football team? That's what I was thinking. I'm sick of supporting Spurs, so maybe I'll start supporting a different team going forward. I keep losing betting, keep losing time. My dad gets upset as well. He takes a piss out of me. So yeah, maybe I need a new team to support.
Maybe you just need to tweet that they're going to win.
I did it last week as well, mate. I put I think it's a 5 million LUNC I bet, and then I lost it. So yeah, this week, or maybe I'll tweet again that I've bet some money on Tottenham to win.
I've got to say it's one of the very few football grounds that I've been to, and I went there with one of the Terra kind of investors earlier on in the year. He met us. He came over from Norway to the UK, and we met up and went there. And he's a football scout and stuff like that as well. So it was kind of a bit of a business trip. And I thought it's absolutely fantastic. The stadium. Yeah, I'd actually like to get underneath the kind of pitch and actually saw around all that worked as well. But yeah, I think we deserve to do pretty well.
Oh, thanks for that. Right, enough football chat and shilling. Let's bring on Radar, and then we'll go to LUNC. How you doing, Radar? Okay, Radar is not with us.
Sorry, guys, I'm here now.
Okay.
I was just listening to you and in another conversation as well. Yeah, what's up? I mean, it's been a interesting week, hasn't it, in the markets, to say the least.
Yes. Have you been trading, Radar, or just buying Luna Classic? What have you been up to?
Well, I bought some Juris over the last week. Took advantage of some of the dips there. I've been watching my gold and silver, mostly gold holdings, go up very nicely. I'm to be brutally honest. Apart from my Juris holding, I'm mostly out of crypto at the moment. I see further downside in crypto, and the reason I say that is because I think we're seeing an inversion in the trend that has been the case up until now in TradFi markets, which seems to have been driving Bitcoin and hence the rest of crypto. We're seeing the Nasdaq, the S&P start to look a bit shaky, and Bitcoin is also reflecting that. And if you notice on the Bitcoin chart, there's a pretty well-formed inverse cup and handle there now. If that plays out, then we get that. Then the measured move from that inverse cup and handle would take us down to the around about 65k area, say 65 to 69k area, something like that. So somewhere around that old previous cycle high that you mentioned, yes. That could well happen. It's really hard to know how to, or know what positions to take, which is why I'm pretty much on the sidelines at the moment. So no, I haven't been trading. I've been adding to Juris on the dips, and comforted by my gold and silver going up.
What's your thoughts on gold? So I mean, I have been the people in the UK would know you get like 20k ISA that you can put in sort of tax free. So that's something that I try to do, and I've been buying equal parts in gold and S&P. So like these are the two things that I've been sort of buying. Vanguard ETF.
You're buying an ETF to stick in there.
Yes, so like the Vanguard ETF. I don't know if you can see the chart, and then the gold share, physical gold share. But I was tempted to maybe go more into this is my risk appetite coming in. I was tempted to more go into S&P more because of the dip. Do you think gold carries on outperforming, or would you try to bet on sort of the risk on stock market more?
Well, I mean, gold's come a long way in quite a short time, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was a pullback or a pause in gold. That wouldn't surprise me. On the other hand, it wouldn't surprise me if it carried on up either. Like I said, it's really tough to call these markets at the moment. Obviously the bull case for gold is the dire state of fiscal and economic situation in most Western economies, right? I mean, all of the Western economies are drowning in debt that's unrepayable. If you look at the US as a case study, they have something like $28 trillion worth of debt, government bonds that need to be rolled over in the next 3 years. I mean, where's the money going to come from to roll over that debt? That 15 billion a year in tax income, right? It's like, and of course, that 15 billion is spent on normal business, not on repaying, not on rolling over debt, right? So is the money printer gonna come into force again? Are we going to see a new round of quantitative easing to enable the US to roll over this debt? And because it seems pretty clear, especially with the tariffs, that other countries that naturally would have been investors that would have bought treasuries seem to be, over recent weeks, less keen to participate in treasury auctions. There was an auction recently that was really, really badly subscribed to, right? So, if that's a sign of things to come. And then the other elephant in the room is China, which owns a huge amount of treasuries and dollars. If they really decide they want to slap Trump, they're going to start dumping those things onto the market, right? So that situation where you've got the quantitative easing. Last time quantitative easing was enforced, that was extremely bullish for crypto, because all of that liquidity found its way into financial markets, including crypto, right? But whether that will be the case this time around remains to be seen. And I've seen these opinions about why Trump is suddenly so friendly to crypto, when in the past, before he was elected president for the second time, he was quite negative on crypto. Yeah, but suddenly he's in his campaign, and then since he's been elected president, he's very, very pro crypto. Why is that? Well, the theory is that they need a new buying source for government debt for treasuries. Now, what is it in crypto that's backed by treasuries? Well, that would be the stable coins, right? So the theory is that, the crypto friendliness is so that he can coax, the treasury, the stablecoin issuers to basically participate in their treasury auctions, buy more treasuries to back newly issued stablecoins. These are all theories. We'll have to see how it plays out, but it's certainly interesting times.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that is involved, and people, I guess, a casual or retail investor like myself, it's hard to take so much things into consideration. So the key thing I use for my trading decision is what you mentioned, printing money. I touched on the start of this space, is like one of my mentors said, just buy when there's printing money. If not, go on a holiday or do something else. Go get a job, go travel or whatever.
Yeah.
And if my thought is that if money printing starts, then yeah, I'd expect money to flow into crypto, stock market, risk on assets again.
Yeah.
It's the big question that I've been struggling as well. I had a call with Rexy earlier that I think, oh, am I being dumb to hold so much crypto, or potentially looking to buy more if it dips or sells off? And the 2 or 3 questions I've asked myself is, do I believe that the way the monetary policy have been working, and if we just look at the S&P chart, not the Bitcoin, you'll see for, as far as we can remember, the market has been up only. The market just keeps going up. And if we believe that the government's going to keep printing money and there's going to be inflation, then risk on assets like stock market, crypto, they're going to do well. Yeah. So that's a question I've asked myself. And guys, I could be wrong and it could affect but you have to bet on something. I've made bets before that worked out. Luna didn't work out. And that's what I'm betting on, where, I'm expecting, whether this is the low or we get another leg down and then up, I'm expecting this inflation, this chart to carry on going higher. And I think, yeah, that's probably a very simplified way of how I'm looking at the market. And then I use the charts and intraday sell-offs to increase my positions.
What I'm doing is I'm watching the bond yields on the US 10-year and 30-year. I'm also watching the dollar index. I've got the UK 10-year and 15-year bonds in there as well, just for fun, but I don't really pay too much attention to those. But if you see those bond yields continuing to rise like they had been, I mean they've come back a little bit. Bonds have gone up in value and the yields have dropped a bit. But if you see those yields continuing to rise and the bond values falling, that certainly implies trouble in the debt markets, and trouble in the debt markets spells trouble in the equity markets, and trouble in the equity markets probably going to spell trouble in crypto markets, right? So this is kind of what I'm watching. If we see the US 30 yield go over 5%, I think we're in trouble. I think the US economy is in trouble. I think the US is in trouble. The dollar is in trouble, and Bitcoin will be in trouble. So we'll have to see. We're at 4.8% right now on the US 30 yield.
That could force Trump's hand on tariffs, and that could also force Fed's Powell's hand as well.
Absolutely. But you see, the thing is that the Fed only controls interest rates at the short end of the yield curve. They control the 2-year treasuries and below, right? At the long end, it's the market that controls the interest rate. At the end of the day, if you're going to be an investor in bonds, you're lending the US government money for a yield with a promise on the full faith and credit of the US government that you will be repaid your money in 30 years' time. But if you know that your money is being repaid the money that you're being repaid in is devalued over 30 years at whatever the current, I mean, even if you take the official inflation figures, and we all know they're BS, right? But even if you take the official inflation figures, you know that money is the purchasing power of that money you're going to be repaid with in 30 years' time is going to be, next to nothing. So you're going to want more interest to compensate you for that risk, right? And the market, the more the government prints, the more those yields are going to go up, because the more long-term investors will need to be persuaded to buy those bonds with higher interest. And at some point, you will end up at a some crazy situation where there won't be buyers for those bonds, and then the Fed will be the buyer, right?
Yes, it's good. It's just definitely very interesting times. One on a funnier note, one thing to share is previous market cycles when crypto people start talking about stocks and the economics and what's happening in the wider world. It usually marks a bottom in crypto because the tension in crypto goes so low, and then and the market bottoms. I hope that is the case again, and for us. And in April, May, June, people usually say they're quieter markets, and hopefully the market starts turning around, and it'd be great for Juris that we were lucky with the timing last time. Hopefully we can time it well again for Juris when testnet and mainnet's going live. If Bitcoin Luna Classic is pumping, that's going to be huge for Juris. So yeah, fingers crossed the market starts turning around. Let's bring on LUNC quickly, and then we'll get LL to shill some of his best meme coins.
Good afternoon, guys. So I want to make this pretty quickly here. If you guys have been following the LUNCverse account and current updates, Antier Solutions has uploaded the LUNCverse to our server. I've been posting some videos from inside of LUNCverse. I think I tagged one here, and I know Terra also retweeted a video that I created. Obviously, we're very early. This is not anywhere yet ready for public consumption, but we did want to show videos, some of the graphics, and some of the ideas that are there. Also, what I think is very bullish about it, because obviously LUNCverse is being built as an L2. We did talk with Antier Solutions, and with LUNCverse, we will be able to add in additional wallet connects that's already being done now and tested. What this will do is for like NFTs, like LUNCverse NFTs for land or business lands, we're going to be able to take those now out to places like OpenSea, Magic Eden, different NFT marketplaces, and allow people to buy LUNCverse NFTs in their native coins. Now, why I think this is bullish for Luna Classic. All of those NFT holders who own land or have things, they'll be able to log into LUNCverse using that NFT because of our wallet connect. So we don't have to wormhole. We don't have to do any of that. Now, once they're in LUNCverse, the entire concept of LUNCverse is Luna Classic. So those new people that are coming in who've invested maybe, say, in the Cosmos on Atom or Ethereum, okay, we're going to be helping bring them into the LUNCverse. Now, once they're there, they're going to see things, as we've always said. We want to make sure Juris is there. We're going to make sure Terraport's there. We're going to make sure that the Dexes and Selenium and these different projects are there. Also, if you've been watching the videos, you'll see I did a shot from one of our banks. We have 3 desks set up in there with Kepler, Terra Station, and Galaxy Station. We were going to add another desk that was going to be for LUNC Dash, but unfortunately, the project lead behind that project said that they don't want to collaborate with any other projects on Luna Classic, so we respect that. But we will have at those desks areas where if a user walks up and they want to say create a wallet, they're going to be able to walk up to the desk of, say, Galaxy Station, That'll take them to the Galaxy Station wallet creation that they have on their site. Let them create a wallet. So, to put this kind of into perspective, we sell, say, one of our lands on OpenSea. Maybe it's an Ethereum investor. Now they come over to check out their land. Everything on there is Luna Classic. Now we brought somebody from outside of our current community here. Now they're like, hey, man, there's some big opportunities here with, say, Juris. They got a great lending protocol and they've got a coin, but they're an Ethereum investor. Well, first, you got Terraport, who already has the wormholes. So now we can look at bridging. And then they can simply walk into a bank, and we have about 4 or 5 banks strategically placed around the map. They can walk in, walk up to a desk, create a on-chain wallet, and and be able to start getting bridge over some assets. They can start trading with Terraport. They can start buying some other things. We're also looking, hopefully, to on-off ramp. I know Terraport has them. Rexy has had some experience with that. We did ask Antier. They do have some partnerships. We're going to see about having that implemented into the bank buildings so that we have that available. So if we can get these guys in, and that's the whole purpose of LUNCverse, is we're not going to go out and create a new Juris. We're not going to go out and create a new Dex. We're creating a platform that brings community to your projects, to Terraport, to Juris, to Terrapump, to all of these really cool projects. MEOF, I know MEOF has bought some land because they want to do like festivals inside of LUNCverse. So, DJ Trev has talked a lot about he wants to have a full nightclub, and we've already started working on programming that so that he can have his nightclub where people are going to be able to cruise into his nightclub, and DJ Trev himself will be spinning up music for people to just kind of hang out and talk and dance and have a virtual meetup. So, again, I hope you guys are following us. We have invited some testers. It's not a secret that we're testing it. So, we've invited some of the community. I know Rexy's was invited and some others. And the reason why we're bringing people in this early is not because the functionality is all there yet, but it's so that we can start to fine-tooth comb this thing, because we're targeting, I believe, early September, late August, early September launch, full launch, open to everybody. But I don't want, and our entire team wants this to be a great representation of our blockchain, because that's what it's about. And so follow us, get yourself some land. Speaking of which, we did just launch, and we understand that this isn't for everybody, but we know that some people, they don't want to buy land. We did put up, I know Nicholas and the LUNCverse Twitter has it up there, that we have put up it's a rather steep Luna Classic NFTs. But these allow you to buy in ownership to LUNCverse. Each NFT lists out what it will be. So any revenues generated from future NFT sales, future land sales, avatar upgrades, and things like that people will spend in LUNCverse. If you've invested in one of these NFTs, you will get a much larger share of that money. We will actually share that revenue right back to you as an investor in the LUNCverse program. So check out those NFTs. Always can reach out to me. I'm obviously under the LUNCverse, but you guys have seen that, this is Crypto Bytes. My name is Mike. I have no problem telling people my name. So we want people to know we're genuine. We're here. We're building. And we can't wait to show it to everybody on a full scale. So any questions, let me know. Since I'm getting off here and we are going to talk memes, I did launch my own meme token. As you guys know, I tend to be pretty well spoken, have fun, but it's called Lunacy. The token is crazy. It is on Terrapump. It did have some good stuff there in the beginning. I've created a little character. If you see him around, his name is Munikazi. He's got his own Twitter. He's been popping into your spaces. But I kind of joke that this is my alter ego. This is the guy who gets to be a little nutty. I put him in a straitjacket a lot. So get yourself a bag of that too. Any revenues that if it makes it to Terra or anything like that, those things will be set up for rewards and things like that. So
LUNCverse,
hey,
which
guys.
one is it? If you could just go on YouTube, I'm streaming from Terra Pump. Which one? There's two. There's two. There's two lunacies.
Yes. So if you take I'm not on YouTube right now, but if you look at Lunacy, you'll see one that has a very nice, clear image with a bio, and then you'll see the scammer who, right after I launched, grabbed my image and put kind of a grainy image that I put there. So you'll see that right next to me there. He launched that. He went to my Twitter, grabbed my image I posted, and then recreated my token within a minute or two after I launched it. So, but I also have the tag there. But hey, that's the DeFi, right? So check it out, guys. But again, if you're interested also in testing, you can also reach out to Nicholas and I. We are keeping things very careful. The testers, if you are a tester, make sure that if you do any screenshots, please do not share. We've told you guys this probably too, but please don't share the link yet. We want to make sure we are providing security for the server. But the reason why we have to keep things small is right now we can only run 10 multiplayers at a time. Now we can have unlimited testers, but 10 people at one time can be inside LUNC first. So Trader Rocko, DJ Trev, I think we've sent out some stuff to you guys. I know Rexy's is there, but let us know if you're interested. Hit us a DM. We'll try and get you a spot into the testing group. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon.
I have 2 questions. First one, can I DM you about maybe being invited as a tester? And the second one is I didn't get which one is like the correct token now. So is it the purple one or the other one?
It's this one, LL. Are you on YouTube? I'm just sharing it now. Is this one?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Yeah, that.
One question. I mean, maybe Rexy can take this, or someone can get in touch with the Terra Pump team. The 5-minute chart's not working. You have to look at the 15-minute chart. But yeah, it's this one. Can you guys hear me, or is it spaces?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think Elo's just Elo's busy trading. But yeah, I mean, LUNC is doing a little pump, guys. We might get that long setup that I've been talking about. We do something like this. Okay, well, thanks LUNCverse for coming. It's great seeing people building on Luna Classic. So yeah, shout out to you guys for building on Luna Classic. If you can get few people to try you out, bring few new eyes, that would be amazing. So yeah, keep pushing.
Thank you for that. And LL, of course, you frag anybody from Juris. If you guys want to DM, you're welcome to anytime. And we will get you guys set up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Who are we gonna go to next to show a meme coin? So I'm on the Terra Pump website now. Who wants to show Rexy? Radar, you've not been on spaces before, maybe we let you shill first. And we've got DJ Trev, mate. If you want to shill any coins, do come up. There's a few new coins that's been launched. Okay, I think Raider's not wanting to shill. LL will give you. Oh, Raider, you want to shill a meme coin?
Yeah, I can shill Juris because that's the meme coin that
yes,
I've got in my bag.
That's what we like to hear. Oh,
I mean, Juris isn't really a meme anymore. I suppose it started that way, but no. I mean, I'm not really into the meme coin scene. I'm not really into this pump fun. I think it's interesting. It's good fun, but it's not really for me. So you know, my shill is Juris. I think, you know, people can't really go wrong with Juris. It's going to provide fantastic utility for the Terra Classic chain. The lending borrowing protocol is going to be awesome when it's ready. So, you know, that's my shill.
No, thank you for that.
There is baby wreck of Inu. That's similar to Juris.
LL's got to shill his meme coins. God bless you guys next Sunday when LL runs his faces. It's going to be meme coin madness.
I have a lot of them.
Well, we haven't shilled
But
Juris,
Juris is still
LL.
my
I think
favorite.
we need to thank...
I agree. Like, I'm sorry, I agree. Like, Juris is still my most favorite coin on the chain. Obviously, like after Lunar Classic, I guess. But,
Well,
I
I'm
have a
putting
lot
this...
of shit coins in me.
I'm putting this chart, LL. How high should I put it? Can you guys comment? How high should I put this target for Juris versus LUNC? 0.2? I think that's reasonable. You guys want it higher?
I think, like, when we... it's recorded, right? So I have to be careful what I'm saying. But when I looked at the tokenomics and stuff, I thought it's funny to have 1 trillion, because LUNC had about 6, I think 6 point something. And I thought this way, if Juris goes to 1 LUNC, then it's still 1/6 of the fully diluted value of the underlying blockchain. So that's like my top target. But it's not really a target, it's like the ultimate top or something that I would say priced in LUNC.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sort of charting the LUNC chart more, because I want to be holding LUNC. Like, I want to, if I'm risking on Juris, I want to outperform LUNC, and then I want LUNC to do well, so you make even more money. But yeah, the LUNC price dropping has been dragging the Juris chart, so make sure you look at both the charts to understand what's happening. Excuse me, not just the Juris chart.
There is maybe, okay, now if we talk about Juris before we pump my my shitcoin bags, one thing that's interesting is recently, so David is working on the documentation on the Git book and stuff to write, and we made a pitch deck, and one of the pages is about the revenue, and it's fun that with Juris you have one side, you have traders that want to like maximize their LUNC or USD, but I think a lot of people trade it against LUNC. But on the other side, you have people that want to maybe stake the Juris so that they get the staking rewards from the protocol, basically as some sort of passive reward, passive revenue, whatever you want to call it. And then, like, we did some calculations, like using data from existing protocols that are smaller, like similar to what we aim to be after launch. And it seems like the sweet spot for TVL and like the APR you get based on the current price of Juris, because your APR, your rewards that you get are also mostly dollar, like either stable coins or other L1 assets. So if you measure in dollar, then it matters to you at which dollar price you bought the Juris token, if you want to stake it. But if you want to trade it against LUNC, then it's like different. And the sweet spot that we came up with in those scenarios that are like realistic after launch, I think you get reasonable APR, like it's promises of protocol, but you get reasonable APR about 5 to 20, like between 5 to 25 million FDV, which means like if you get it below in dollar valuation, then you can expect pretty high APR that is competitive. And on the other side, you have people that want to trade it and make profits. So I don't know how it goes, but it will be interesting to watch.
You said you had a UI meeting this afternoon. Can you give us an update from that?
Yes, I can. So the initial plan was to have the UI meeting and like have a demonstration and like presentation and have a long meeting. But because of the spaces and like the time schedule of the dev, we decided to do it after Easter. But we did talk through the progress and like the further planning. And it seems like for the landing page, like the main page, the website, everything is ready except for like fancy animations and stuff like this, which we don't want to focus on right now. Probably David will be a little bit sad for now, but we will focus on implementing the bridge and the dash, like the vesting dashboard and stuff like this next, and continue with the protocol pages. And then next week we will have presentation and everything. But it looks like there is no delay or anything going wrong. So pretty bullish on that. And I also asked the dev one thing maybe I can add, because usually I don't say too many bullish things and people are upset. I asked the dev who's implementing it whether he believes that the UI and the design and stuff is competitive, and he said yes, very much so. Said it's very good and it should do like it's easy to use from his point of view, of course, and that it can compete with bigger protocols and looks professional. So I'm pretty bullish on it, and I can't wait to deploy in testnet and like have everything come together. But yeah, that's the update on that side.
That's awesome, Ella. We're really looking forward to the testnet. Okay, let's show some meme coins. So we had Radar show Juris, LUNC show his coin. Rexy, which coin you're shilling today?
I just wanted to ask something about Juris, if that's all right. So I just wondered what the what the schedule is or roadmap, for the coming 6 months to 9 months. I know we've spoken about the testnet version kind of coming out, but what about a little bit further down the line? Can we have a bit more info about that?
Yes, let me get the chat where I actually wrote it down. I don't want to make like exact dates or something, but I can say the order in which we plan to do things. If that's okay, maybe it makes people more confident.
Yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't kind of looking for particular kind of dates or times, just kind of a bit of flavour of the direction that you plan to go after the kind of testnet, because the launch and getting market kind of acceptance and all that's pretty important to maximize the impact of Juris, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So currently the idea and stuff, like things can change, like depending on development. Like if things go wrong or there are delays or whatever, like then we have to reschedule or rearrange things. But right now, the idea is to have to going live with the website first and documentation, have the dashboard, basically portfolio page and vesting page for investors and for team and for whoever did OTC deals with us in the new app UI. So those are going to be the first pages that we release. And those sites are going to partially be in mainnet, but those are already in mainnet because we have an investor dashboard where you can go and claim your airdrops and stuff like this, right? So that's going to migrate. We are going to have lending and borrowing with the new design in the app in testnet. The next step is to have the liquidation in testnet. Frank is right now working on the backend. He has prepared some of the stuff that he could do, and some of the stuff around the design, I think, is being figured out together with Redline right now. So the plan is to then deploy liquidation into testnet and also have the new app UI, so people can play around basically with the full protocol, except for the staking and governance and stuff like this. But you will be able to lend, borrow, deposit assets, and liquidate people in testnet around that point in time. Whenever it's going to be, it's a little bit like a lot of things. That point we go and like look at protocol audit. Basically, we're already talking to solid proof stuff. Then the actual audit is going to happen while we also test. And at that point in time, we will try to reach out to potentially people or like rather institutions or businesses who might be interested to fund this, because then we have everything we need to show people that it's working, that there are users in testnet, that they can play around with it. We have pitch deck, documentation, website, everything ready. And when everything comes together, we are looking at mainnet protocol launch and our CX listing. So that's the order of things, that's the plan. All is supposed to happen this year, rather quicker than later, or sooner than later. But I don't want to say exact dates other than something that we already said, which is the testnet stuff. Maybe excluding liquidation should be ready end of Q2. So that's the timeline we have, and the other stuff comes after. So basically, maybe one thing I should add is that it means that we roll out things one by one. So we don't deploy everything at once. Once the first UI elements are ready, we deploy website and then each UI feature one after another until we have the complete protocol in testnet. And then once everything is ready and audited and working, and we tested and verified everything goes smooth, then we just deploy into mainnet in one go, basically.
No, that sounds really, really positive. You know, you've still got quite a distance to go, but you've also come a very long way as well. And you know, I think it's just great to have serious projects growing on Terra Classic, and I think sooner or later our kind of secret, if you like, will get out, and hopefully people will come back. And rather than kind of expecting a bit of a derelict kind of blockchain with nobody here, they'll find that actually there's quite a lot here going on.
Maybe something that I should add is that I said testnet release is like a rolling release, so it's deployed in parts. And technically speaking, we already started with that by deploying the first contracts for oracles and the accounts and the actual borrowing and lending. So it is already in testnet, but we have to deploy the UI. And right now you can play around with it using command line interface. Like you have to interact with the contracts directly, and you have to know like what methods you can call inside of the contracts and stuff if you want to build it yourself and don't have access to the tool. So it's coming in steps, and after we figured out the UI elements and how far we are, like if we can deploy, probably every couple of weeks there will be new updates in testnet.
So are you planning to just keep on Terra Classic, or are you planning to reach out to other chains? What's kind of behind your marketing strategy?
To be honest, like first of all, we need to launch and establish on Terra Classic, and I think there's like lots of opportunity here on this chain. And if you look at reaching out to other chains, then we look for collaborations rather than like deploying the same protocol on their chain. That may be different if the collaborator or partner is an EVM chain, because then it's maybe not 100% compatible in the future. But for now, we're looking on Terra Classic, and we want to bridge over as many quality assets, I would say like L1 assets from bigger chains, or maybe even Paxos Gold, like the cookie guys, they already bridged it over. I'm looking at bridging BTC over, like there is native Cosmos BTC, I think. so that we have a fully fledged protocol that you can use on Terra Classic. Like, I don't see why we have to deploy the same protocol on other chains, but for marketing and collaboration and bridging assets, that's part of the plan. And we have to do it stepwise because right now funding is pretty thin and getting funds on Terra Classic is also not easy. So we may start with Terra Classic and then go from there stepwise. Same way we basically deploy in testnet.
Do you think users are actually interested in which chain a protocol is actually deployed, or do you think the only thing they're really interested in is whether can actually use that protocol the way it was meant to be used and benefit from it?
So from my experience, I don't know, like users depends on, if you say users, there are lots of users and it depends who you talk to. But if you aim at normal retail, let's say, my normal day friends, everyday friends, they don't really give a fuck on which chain. As long as it's easy to use and they can somewhat understand the rules of what's going on, like, okay, there is a tax, keep this in mind, and this is the wallet, you can use it. There are no bugs or anything, you can connect to the sites and they understand how it works. I don't think they really care because they're usually used to it from other chains anyways, and they don't care about community or on which chain or which assets. They want to usually make money, and if there is opportunity to make money, then they will use whatever you basically give them. And in our case, it's lending on Terra Classic. So I think we don't really going to have issues because we're on Terra Classic and not on Solana or something. Like, onboarding is harder, but once they're there, I don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's I often kind of connect up with my non-crypto friends, which is majority of people know in the real world. And I think many people consider, well, for a start, when you talk to them about crypto, that you get the eyes kind of hit the roof, so to speak. And I think still mainstream, it's not really heard of a great deal. However, I'm very much of the opinion that providing people can use it and they can use it easily, then that tends to foster more adoption. Because I don't think, think of it in terms of the traditional world. If you invest in, let's say, in an ISA or even your pension fund, how many people really get behind the kind of fund and understand the fund manager and all the the different sectors it's investing in and stuff? All they want to know is that if I put my money in here, am I going to get my, hopefully, 5 to 10% growth in my pension every year or more, and it's going to be safe. And then, that saves me having to have a meeting with the pension guy until next year. I think that's the experience of most people. And I think when it comes to Web3 and crypto, I think it's going to explode their minds, majority of people. It's just going to be too much for them and they'll be so confused. So I think the winners in the crypto sector will be those that make it easy for newbies to actually adopt and use the technology and actually make a profit out of them. So if you can get somebody off the street and within a few simple steps, and I'm talking about really simple steps here, just like log onto a website, make yourself an account, and away you go. And it'd be very intuitive and people understand it. I think if you got much more than that, let's say it introduces extra barriers into adoption. And I think if your protocol is, I'm not saying yours in general as Juris, but a protocol can access pretty much any kind of chain, and there's no worries about, I sent this thing there and I can't get it back. I think they're the things that people really worry about. I know it's very simple, and the nuances and complexity of technology will be absolutely lost on them. But I think people want simple things. Like when they get in the car, they're not bothered how the car works. Does it get me from A to B in the time I want it to get there?
Yes, I agree. I mean, ideally, people would. Ideally, there would be like maybe even Web2 applications, that use the underlying protocol. So people may not even have to go to, if they don't want to, they don't have to open a wallet, or it can be half custodial. Maybe people can have a wallet, but then they use the protocol in a different way. Basically, they use a product, and then the product uses the protocol. So it abstracts away like the difficult stuff.
Yeah, I think
There are-
I think that could be a really good kind of strategy. So yes, so it's like I say, it becomes a function of maybe all the wallets and things like this.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. There is also like fintech companies that actually wrap around existing DeFi. So there is probably opportunities for this as well. Something I'm looking at, but first of all, we need to get the protocol going before promising or dreaming about like lots of bigger stuff. But it's definitely possible. Like there are lots of cool things. And we can do the same on Terra Classic. And I think people would use it because it obviously makes people money. It's easy to use, like CZ said, if you build it, they will come. And I think there is some proof in it, like if it's there and people can use it and make money, there is going to be people that want to use it, regardless if it's on a broken chain or like our chain is not broken, like more like perceived as a dead chain. They won't care. Like they won't look at community or drama. Like nobody gives a fuck about these things. They just want to have products that they can use. And if we get those things on chain, and there are lots of people that use those things, and we as community, we will benefit from it. Like just look at recently when they moved around or like rather burned the funds. Staking reward ratio, like the APR went up significantly, and imagine the volume on chain, then we would be in a much better situation. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd maybe add a little bit of something onto what CC said there, and although I think he's probably doing a bit better than what I am, to be fair, not just kind of build it and they'll use it, but I think if you build it and they can see it, then they'll use it. And I think the see it bit is kind of in many ways the marketing bit, but that's kind of nearly the gift of the community to afford that to Juris and any other kind of platform on here, whether it's Terra Grid or whatever it may be. As a community, we can reach out to other people. We can, follow and like and retweet and generate the hype that gets heard by other communities and other big builders and investors, and help draw their eyes towards the products on there. I don't think really having KOLs or key opinion leaders helps that much. Maybe not in this market as it seems to be, but I think the volume of a pretty united community that's pretty bullish, I think that can draw a lot of attention to products. I see we've got Vegas here. Maybe he wants to say a few words about Selenium.
Good discussions,
Should
guys.
I invite people?
Let's see if Vegas joins. I'll start ending the stream, guys. It's been a good thing to try out to YouTube stream. I think YouTube stream would work better when there's like something else going on, whether it's like maybe a casino poker tournament or LNI just stream coins or shield meme coins rather than like the normal discussion spaces. But it's been a good tryout. Thank you for checking out, guys. And yeah, the YouTube link is tagged on the top of it if you guys want to click. Sound seemed to get better as well. I don't think there's a lag, but I'll check it and make it better for next time. But no, thank you for tuning into the stream. We'll keep the spaces going. But yeah, I'll end the stream now. Maybe we'll show one coin. LL, you want to show a coin before I end the stream?
Was we just going to
Yeah.
allow Vegas to have a chat about Selenium?
Vegas isn't requested to speak. I've sent him a request. He's not accepted it yet. But yeah, Vegas, if you want to come up, let us know.
Yeah. Now you did
All right,
ask.
so-
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, no, I thought while we wait for Vegas, I can just chill my shitcoins. At
Which
least one
one are
of
you
them.
shilling?
Sorry.
Which one are you shilling? I'm on the Terra Pump page now.
Well, let me see. There are so many of them. Which one should I pick?
Well, I'm shilling my own coin.
Obviously-
My coin is below Rexy, which I'm not happy about. I want to be above Rexy, so guys, go buy some to get me above Rexy. Not
Yeah,
particularly
you
about.
guys, your coin is performing like your favorite club, Rocko.
Sorry.
Your token is performing like your favorite soccer club.
It's not looking good,
What?
bro. It's not looking good.
Providing the support.
Yeah, it's just going down. But there might be some bullish news. Me and Frag had a meeting. I wouldn't say necessarily about this coin, but we've had a meeting about creating a bot and bring it on Luna Classic like an AI agent, like a machine learning coin. There might be some news in the next 2 weeks. We're gonna have another call. So yeah, watch the space if Rocko makes a comeback. That's my shill over. I'll let LL take over now.
All right. Nice hope, you. Okay, so one of my favorite coins is or tokens is the Neil one, of course, but that's on the top one spot. So I think that one is going to make it out of bonding curve anyways, because Danny and Morty, they're like shilling it heavily, and I'm helping them too. And the token I would shill is let's say El Pepe, because I also changed my PFP. I put Luna Lava on my banner. So one of the El Pepe memes is my PFP, and I have some bags. So that's the token I'm going to share. It's number 5 on the rankings.
I saw that one. That's a bit of a rising star, isn't it? That one.
Yeah,
Is there any relation
account.
to you?
Yeah, it's like a guy from the community. I think he has like a Twitter account. It's rather small right now. And luckily I didn't get rugged when I bought in. So seems like he's legit trying to get out of the bonding curve, I hope. So not NFA, like not financial advice, do what you want, but I bought some bags. I hope it makes it out of bonding curve. And my main Luna Lover has the PFP. So yeah, let's see. That's my share.
Oh, cool. Well, good luck with those. It's I don't know if I think I'm probably a little bit more in kind of Raiders camp in terms of meme coins. To be quite honest, it's yeah, it's. I mean, I buy pretty much bloody everything. I mean, let's face it. I'm just. I suppose I'm the most unlikely degen ever. But there you go. It's. I love the humour that's put into a lot of these and the creativity. That's the thing that kind of drives or stokes my kind of interest in them. And even just the bloody minded kind of cheekiness. I mean, it just makes me chuckle that there's one up there with my name on it. I mean, who the hell would even think of doing something like that? So that just makes me, that just really makes me chuckle. And I've been, kind of supporting Trader Rockers as well because, he's the Thai boy that we all love, isn't he? But so I don't know. I think nearly any in the top 10 there you could kind of go for. But yeah, I suppose if I was going to really pick one, and I've got quite a bag of quite a lot of them, I think I'd probably go for the T Rocko one. I mean, we're on his spaces at the minute, aren't we? So, but then there are existing ones in the community that I don't think we ought to forget about. I think, for instance, like Fun. It's a community. Let's call it a community-owned coin, which, let's face it, they all are. But the original kind of creator I think, made way for a small community to adopt it, and they've put a lot of effort into trying to promote it. And certainly within their Telegram group, it's pretty